The following is a 13-minute clip of a keynote talk that I've given to a number of different audiences and a number of different venues and in person and online. And it always goes over incredibly well because it totally shifts people's mindset and people's understanding of their subconscious brain. So if you like the video, if you find it valuable, please like, subscribe, and continue to stay in this community because you're going to hear a lot more like this. If you would like to book me for a speaking opportunity, I am filling up for the rest of 2024 and into 2025, but please send me an email, gavinmchale@gmail.com with subject line speaking opportunity, and give me all the details, and I'd be happy to chat with you and figure out if we can make it work. Enjoy the video.
You do know this, hopefully this is a good reminder. 95 to 98% of your brain is your subconscious brain, which is the beliefs, some of the habits, the identity of who you are and how you interact with the world. 2 to 5% of your brain is conscious. That's the logic, the reason, the decision making. That's probably what got you here. You are smart, you made good decisions, logical decisions, bang, 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 it all happened, here we are. But what got you here is not going to get you there. If it's 7 figures, if it's multiple 7 figures, if it's 6 figures, I'm telling you right now, if you're in this room, the universe has brought us together for you to hear this, that what got you here is not going to get you to the next place you want to go. And trying to go there on your conscious brain is like taking an ant and putting an elephant on its back and saying, we got to go this way. It's impossible. You have to flip the script because your unconscious, your subconscious brain is like an elephant, and your conscious brain is like an ant. And if you can get the elephant pointing in the right direction and get it moving in the right direction and put the ant on top just to hang out on its back, everything you touch will turn to gold. Everything you touch will turn to gold. However, it's not easy. This is not easy work. You're going to have to go deeper than you're used to. Okay? We can help you with that. Okay? Does this make sense? Did I do a good job of explaining that for you guys? Cool. Excellent. All right. The big dog said yes. Awesome. All right. So here I am. I'm a hotshot hockey player. I've got all the skills. If you ask anybody who saw me play, I had the skills to make pro hockey. I don't know about the NHL, but I had the skills to play pro hockey. Didn't work out. Okay? I'm a hotshot young personal trainer. 10 years later. Graduated first in my class. Wasn't as successful as many other people. Logically, in theory, I should have been ultra, ultra successful. On paper, I was an absolute slam dunk. Put your bets on this guy. But underneath the surface, not even close. Not even close. I couldn't figure it out. Okay? And it was through doing this work that I realized that these were some of the emergency brakes that I had on. Because no matter how many practices I did, how many times I tried to get better as a goalie, how many coaches I hired, how many business coaches I hired, right? I felt like I had the emergency brake on. What I was doing is I kept souping up the engine on my car, but I never took the emergency brake off. Okay? So that's what we're going to do here. So these were some of the beliefs that I had, and I think you'll probably resonate with some of these, so I want to give you these so you can kind of get an idea of where we're going with this. First thing was I grew up with a middle-class mindset, okay? This is not my parents' fault. My dad was a cop, my mom was a teacher. They did their best for me, but I heard all of these things like, you've got to work really hard. You've got to work really, really hard to make money. Making money is hard. And you're probably not going to like the job you do, but then there's going to be this thing when you're 65 where you can retire. And that's going to be awesome. My parents are there now. They're both retired. Literally have no clue what to do with their lives. My dad's painted his house like 3 times in like a year. He has no clue what to do with himself. And I'm like, isn't this exactly what you said you wanted? Anyway, so middle class mindset. How many of you guys heard, I can't tell you how many times I heard, money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't grow on trees, okay? So if I have this subconscious programming in my brain that making money should be really hard, I probably shouldn't like what I'm doing, and money doesn't grow on trees, hockey was easy for me. That's why I did it. Training clients was easy for me. And then training clients where I just make programs on the computer, it didn't align with what my beliefs were. No wonder, right? I had deep-rooted fears, fear of failure, and big fear of being made fun of. When you're famous and you're rich, you get made fun of, and your failures are super public, right? Of course, that's why I didn't get to that place. I had limiting beliefs. Who was I? Who was I? I know Vince said a lot of people, some people were saying that they feel like they should be further ahead. That's one of those I'm not good enough beliefs. I feel like I should be further ahead. I had this feel like I'm not good. Who am I? I'm just a regular guy from the center of Canada in the middle of nowhere. When you figure out that everyone who's successful and everyone that you're chasing and has what you want was once a regular guy or girl, that changes. Right? And I had a really negative mindset about being wealthy. I had a negative mindset towards wealthy people. And this wasn't like from what my parents said, but this was from like movies, from society in general. I had this belief that rich people got rich in 3 ways. Either they made their money in super shady ways, or they were a trust fund baby and got everything given to them, or they worked so much that their family hated them. Here I am, I want to be a good partner, a good parent. I want to be a man of integrity. And I think I have subconscious programming that wealthy people are that. How am I ever going to be wealthy? I literally would have to hate myself to be wealthy. Not a place I wanted to be. So these beliefs were all driving the bus. But I couldn't see that. They were unconscious beliefs that had been programmed into me. Most of the time, these beliefs are programmed into us when we're 0 to 7. Our brains do not have the capacity to deal with that. Right? And then we carry it through, and you're 30 years old trying to build your fitness business, and there's a 7-year-old who got made fun of or whose parents said that money doesn't grow on trees who's driving the bus. No 7-year-old should be driving the bus, ever. First of all, we have to become aware. Okay, the first step is the hardest one because they're unconscious. So we have to go deeper. We have to go to an illogical place, a place that doesn't really make sense. It's like, what? I had a call this morning with a client. He's a clothier, okay? He dresses attorneys in Dallas. Guy's making $800K a year. He wants to get to 1.3 million. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing my journaling. And I'm like, this is crazy. This doesn't make any sense what's going on in my head. That's your subconscious. That's your subconscious, where it's like, this doesn't make sense. It's not logical. Okay, so we have to become aware first. Then we can let go of the emergency brake. Once we're aware, then we can let go of the emergency brake. That's what I'm going to show you today, how to let go of the emergency brake. Then you can upgrade your engine. What I was doing when I was getting the coaches and all these things, I was trying to upgrade my engine before I was becoming aware or letting go of the emergency brake. Right? And what I've learned about the ultra successful, to go back to the first slide, they operate on a different system. Okay? The only way to get to that different system, to get to that higher level that they're operating on, is to do the first 2 steps first. You have to climb the rungs of the ladder one at a time. You can't jump to the 3rd rung. If you've ever tried to do that, it doesn't work very well. So, why does this work? I wanted to make like a fun circle thing for this, but I don't know how to do that on PowerPoint, so bear with me. So, action. Let's look at the last part, action. Alex Hormozi said on a recent podcast, winners and losers are not unique in their goals. There's a lot of people who want to make $1 million in 2023 that won't. A lot. So winners and losers are not unique in their goals. Where they're unique, where winners are unique from losers, is in the actions they take and the habits they create along the way. The goals just set the intensity of those action steps. Does that make sense? Goals are great, but they just set the intensity of action steps, which is what really matters. So if we want to change our outcome, we want to change our actions, right? Well, where do actions come from? How do we change them? Well, let's work backwards. Actually, let's go to the start. So it all starts with an event. So maybe this is an external event, or maybe this is an internal event. Maybe this is an emotional trigger or something, a thought that you have. Guys, all events are neutral, okay? Cole mentioned sports fans. If you guys are sports fans, here's the best way to recognize that all events are neutral. If you have a favorite sports team, they play a game, and they play a game against their rival, and they win. You are super excited, right? The fans of the team that lost, not pumped at all. Exact same event. 2 teams played a sporting event, 1 team won. 2 very different reactions, okay? So all events are neutral. What makes them mean something is the beliefs you apply to them. What makes an event mean something is the beliefs you apply to it, the identity that you have about yourself and the world. You apply those beliefs make you feel an emotion. They lead to an emotion. And if anyone's ever done, I'm going to shout out a fellow Winnipegger who's done a couple talks, Joe Marcoux. Cole just did a sales talk. People buy based on emotion. We also take actions and make decisions based on emotion. It's a human condition. We take actions based on emotion. Okay? So, neutral event happens, belief is applied, emotion comes into your experience, and you take an action, you make a decision. If we want to change the actions, there's 2 ways to do that. What most people do, okay, I'm going to use a fitness example here, a weight loss example. What most people do, they know that snacking is their problem, right? They want to lose weight, they know snacking, chips are their problem. So they go, I'm going to stop eating chips, and then they pray to the Lord above that they can stop eating chips. Like, please, please, just let me stop eating chips. And they take the chips out of their house and all those things. Problem is, they still believe, they still have an identity that they can't control themselves around chips. They haven't changed it. So the pot is boiling over. The pot keeps boiling. They're just trying to take the lid off and just, oh, please, just let me stop eating chips. What's going to happen the next time the chips come out at a party? Give me all the chips. I haven't eaten chips in weeks, right? What this work is going to do is we're going to go further back. We're going to change the belief. Okay? We're not just going to change the action and pray. We're going to change the belief, which makes the action a lot easier, the difficult action. Instead of taking the lid off the boiling pot, we're just going to turn the element off. Way easier. Way easier. So if we apply this to my hockey story, right? Let's look at the event. Event was, I'm not playing well. We're losing games. Essentially, I'm failing. That's the event. It's totally neutral. The belief that I applied to that event was that failure meant I wasn't good enough. I had a very fixed mindset, and I was doing this to please others. So if I failed, if I let in goals, I wasn't good enough. Okay? What do you think that made me feel? Not good. I was frustrated. I was angry. I was sad. I was shame. I had a bunch of shame. So the action that came from that emotion was to pull away from my teammates, to stop trying in practice, to just say, screw it. I'm done. I don't care anymore. Vicious cycle of behavior that led to more bad things happening, like being punched in the face. Let's take the same action, or the same event, exact same event. Losing games, letting in goals, failing. Neutral event, let's say I apply a different belief to that. Let's say I apply a belief that failure equals feedback. Let's say I change my belief and apply that belief. What do you think that's going to make me feel? I'm probably going to feel curious. I'm going to feel like, I wonder what I could do. I'm letting in a lot of goals. Let's get curious about this. That feeling is going to lead me to many different actions, like hiring a sports psychologist or asking my coaches or watching more video. Right? This is a virtuous cycle of behavior that now allows us to change. And the only thing I changed was my belief about the event. Okay?